Gail gonna be on?
I don't know.
Say hi.
Yeah.
So your neighbor says hello. All right.
Okay.
Hey, Bill, you're live.
Okay, welcome to the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation's Fire Hero Tuesday Town Hall. I'm Billy Goldfeder. I'm a member of the Board of Directors of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, and I'm a Deputy Fire Chief at the Loveland Sims Fire Department outside of Cincinnati. I'm here with Executive Director Chief Ron Sarnicki and a few staff members from the National Firefighters Foundation. We're going to introduce you in just a moment. Today is Fire Hero Tuesday, which is the Foundation's version of Giving Tuesday. It's a day set aside worldwide to provide non-profit organizations you believe in, and the NFFF is definitely one I personally believe in. The saying goes, put your money where your mouth is, and not only for years have I personally donated to the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, but I've also produced 3 books, and each of those books, a 100% of the profits were donated to 3 charities, and the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation has been one of those charities each time. And I'm glad to tell you that I've donated tens of thousands of dollars to those charities, and I've never stopped giving to the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. Look, we know times are tough right now for a lot of people, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you to make a donation today. Whatever you can afford, just take a look and click on the link and do what you can to throw some money this way. Any amount is appreciated truly. And by the way, the Presto Foundation has committed to match your donation dollar for dollar up to $35,000 today. So you can go to firehero.org or to our Facebook page, the NFFF Facebook page, to make your donation. I've seen firsthand the work the foundation does, not only on the Memorial Weekend, which is probably the most public thing they do, but throughout the year, responding to line of duty death situations, to be on the scene, to assist fire departments, both emotionally, through paperwork, the bureaucracy, and all that sort of thing, to help that department get through, and also helping the families well after they've lost a loved one. The work the foundation does is constant, it's nonstop, and quite frankly, it costs money to do. Speaking of, by the way, the Memorial Weekend, the dates for next year are October 2nd and 3rd, and we'll be honoring the firefighters who died in the line of duty in 2019 and 2020. We're going to combine that. And today, Chief Sarnicki, Ron, is going to be announcing information about a Memorial Weekend for 2022. It's a big change, so you're going to want to stick around for that. Before we hear from Ron, I want to bring in the directors of family programs and fire programs to give brief updates on the foundation. First up is Bev Donlin. Bev runs the family program, and she's been doing this almost 20 years working for us. She's married to a retired deputy fire chief, so she understands the strength of the fire service community. But probably the most critical role you need to understand what Bev does is she's our face, she's our connection to the families that have suffered line of duty death losses, not only initially, but for many, many years to come, because honestly, when the families get involved with the foundation, sometimes it's a lifetime relationship that we develop with them. Then we're going to go to Chief John Tippett. Since 2018, John's been the director of fire programs for the foundation. He's a member of the fire service since 1974, serving in Montgomery County, Maryland, Charleston, South Carolina, and now he's with the North Beach Volunteer Fire Department in Maryland. So let's go to Bev. Bev, what's the latest you can share with us on family programs?
Thank you, Billy. Yes, it's been quite the difficult year this year with having to cancel all of our in-person events due to the pandemic. But, we've transitioned our programs to virtual platforms, and the teams pulled together and certainly learned new ways to reach our Fire Hero families. We've, in the beginning, we relied heavily on social media platforms, creating an official Fire Hero Family Facebook group and an Instagram for the younger generation, just so that we could post regular upcoming events and news and helpful resources to keep the families feeling connected to the NFFF, even while we're in hiatus from traveling to the in-person events. And of course, the initial transition was challenging, but now we see the many benefits to the virtual programming that we've been offering, and we've been able to reach a national audience. We began in April hosting 2 weekly support groups. One's facilitated on Tuesday nights and one is facilitated on Wednesday night. And the participants have said that it's been a lifeline and something that they look forward to each week. We've been doing that now for about 33 weeks. Since the pandemic started. They even opted to meet the night before Thanksgiving recently because they weren't traveling and are gathering with their families. So it's kind of given them, like they said, a lifeline to be supportive with each other. It's been wonderful. We started off with, lower numbers, but I think it's catching on, and this is the new way of doing business. So we're seeing our numbers grow and participation gradually increasing. We've had virtual workshops and sessions usually take place in the evenings, or we're working on Saturdays and Sundays to accommodate those who are working or at home teaching their young children. So we keep that in mind and offer things where families can connect. We're keeping in mind the different time zones. So we're offering, like I said, evening sessions. We've developed an ongoing series for widowed people. They meet monthly. It involves interactive journals that the participants were given, and there's a short video series. And we're hoping that this will eventually be something that we can continue when we do our in-person spouses and life partners retreat once again. I just wanted to give you, if I could, a few quotes from some of our families. One of them says, "Thank you so much for the grit, growth, and grace," which is the name of our Widowhead series. Thank you for all that you do. You are very kind and patient, and your efforts to help are greatly appreciated. I was afraid to join a Zoom-type meeting, not sure if I could contain my tears. Instead, I came away from the meeting with hope and energy that I haven't felt in a long time. Listening to examples, suggestions, and interacting with others in the same position was more uplifting than I could have ever imagined. This new energy is a gift, and I'm grateful to you and the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. I can tell you we were pretty skeptical having to go from what our initial reaction with our families, that emotional support, going to virtual sessions, but I think they're becoming quite beneficial from all of the comments that we've received. We recently hosted a holiday support group prior to Thanksgiving, and we'll be hosting another one on December the 20th. This is providing families with a little extra support. They'll have the opportunity to share ideas and experience about potential pitfalls and strategies during this time of year. We know the holidays can be really hard. All families are welcome to that. In the summer, again, we were skeptical, but we held 2 virtual camp programs, serving campers from ages 3 to 18. As well as doing support sessions for the parents. It was greatly received. The campers received some little camp in a box gifts from the foundation with activities that they could participate through Zoom. And let me tell you, those little ones, they can chat through that Zoom like no tomorrow. They type faster than us grown-ups. So it was awesome and refreshing to see that they were able to get together. And, there's been quite a lot of disappointment this year for sure. So we were able to award, thanks to wonderful partnerships and private donors, the foundation was able to award over $420,000 in scholarships this year, helping 64 children of fallen firefighters reach their educational goals. 20 of those scholarships were represented 100% of the recipients' tuition. That's pretty amazing. So this year we were able to award rather large scholarships. One of the aspects of our programming that the families say means the most is the opportunity to simply connect, Billy, with others, informally, for friendships, for conversation and support from those who understand. So one of the ways that we met this need was we offered some sessions that were of social nature, yet started conversations among the attendees, such as a virtual cookout for men. We're going to be hosting an upcoming cookie exchange, holiday cookie exchange. And this will allow, we also have a session that's going to allow people to get together from other people in their state or region. So we find commonalities and help people connect that way with our virtual sessions and workshops. Let's see. Our families seem to be so appreciative of the opportunity to just be with one another, and this Zoom, the new Zoom, kind of makes this possible in a way that wouldn't have been possible a decade ago. So it's kind of new. If there's anything good that can come out of COVID, it's the fact that we have been able to reach our families more quickly, more frequently. And so I kind of look at the positive things. Although it's not the same as being in person, I think we're doing a great job at making sure that our families are connected and feeling like we're supporting them in every turn that we possibly can. I have another quote. I want to tell you how much I appreciate all that the organization has been doing to try to keep the support going in this crazy time. I didn't know how much it would help me just to talk and share, but it's been good for my soul. We have gotten so many wonderful compliments for our efforts, and that just makes me, I want to give a shout out to the team that I work with. You know, they're doing a beautiful job. And like I said, some weeks we have sessions on Tuesday night, Wednesday night. We have the session Thursday, one Saturday, and one on Sunday this week. So we're staying quite busy trying to reach our families as best we can. We've had families attend the virtual events just days after learning that their firefighters were going to be honored at the National Memorial. This means that we're connecting the families, the families with the Fire Hero family community much sooner. And I know that's something that we know can be very beneficial during the grieving process. So I'm excited about that. We've worked to make sure that virtual programming is diverse and offer support for all family members. You know, sometimes family members cannot attend in-person events due to work schedules, childcare issues, or finances, but virtual events are free and convenient. And in this way, I feel like we've expanded our reach. So I have two last comments, and then if you have any questions. I'm so grateful that the NFF offers virtual sessions for us to navigate through the unprecedented year that has its own stressors added to the grief journey. Grief is a transformational process, and along the way, support is needed. Thank you to the staff of the NFFF. One last one. One Fire Hero family member commented that she felt nervous about flying across the country to attend an in-person event for the first time. But now that she has met others through virtual programs, she's more comfortable knowing she'll be together with friends she's met through virtual programming. So like I said, it's really insightful that this virtual stuff is really catching on, and we're going to continue that in the future. Our next thing coming up, and I hope nobody misses it, we're going to be streaming the family tree lighting on Facebook and on our website. That's this Friday at 4:30, so December the 4th at 4:30. We hope everybody will join us to see the holidays decorated in memory of the fallen firefighters with their beautiful and special ornaments that have been sent in from the families all over the nation. So that's happening. Like I said, nothing beats being in person, but we're going to continue to host these successful virtual programs moving forward, as well as work twice as hard to do our live in-person events when it's safe to do that once again. So we're staying busy, and if anybody has any questions.
We're going to turn it. Thanks very much, Bev, for that update. Now we're going to pass it on to John Tippett to provide us an update on fire programs. John?
Thanks very much, Billy. It's a pleasure to see everybody, and I hope everybody's getting ready for a holiday season like you've never experienced before. As Billy mentioned, I'm the Director of Fire Service Programs, and the primary mission of Fire Service Programs is to educate firefighters and challenge their cultural norms, those norms that are not healthy and can get them into trouble. And then we also provide training that promotes critical decision-making skills. It's kind of a new direction for us when it comes to the training elements for the programs. We have some significant things that took place. We had a very robust schedule, as just like family programs did, to get out to spread the word about what was going on and firefighter safety and making firefighters safer, and also doing the best we can to prevent that preventable death. And obviously that's been interrupted. So we shifted to do virtual training activities. Some of those were very successful, but the COVID restrictions didn't stop us from trying to fulfill our mission the best we could. We have one of the critical decision programs out there is called Attributes of Leading. And that program works really hard to get firefighters to think, especially leaders, whether they're incumbent leaders or aspiring leaders, to delve very deeply into 12 different concepts that we think are critical for a leader to have. Because as you know, it takes courage. It takes great courage for a leader to stand up against some of those norms that are happening in the fire service that are not necessarily the healthiest or best practice to be following. So through Attributes of Leading, it's a directed program. There's an instructor that facilitates. There's a brief video that the participants watch. It's kind of an intimate setting. The class size is usually restricted to 12. We did launch this virtually and found that it did work. It wasn't quite exactly the same as being in person, but it did provide the participants with a chance to take a look at the video and find out what those attributes meant to them. And some of those attributes include things like grit, perseverance, taking care of yourself, not being afraid to stand up to make tough decisions, going against the grain if necessary, so that firefighters are kept safe. But we also partnered with the Los Angeles City Fire Department after getting word of a significant near miss they had, and also the forward-thinking action that the fire chief took less than 10 days after the firefighter was injured. And that video resulted, or that collaboration resulted in the video Go Down Swinging, which is available on our YouTube channel. And it turned out to be a very successful video. The firefighter took about 18 months or so to come back to work. The Los Angeles Fire Department made a major cultural shift. They are no less aggressive of a fire department, but they have boiled down their arrival and decision-making process into 3 steps for their officers. And they say it's resulted in some revolutionary change in their department. Interestingly enough, they had another event which you may be familiar with. It was the Toy District fire, where they had the great explosion. A significant number of firefighters were injured, 11, and some of them are still off as well. And we're working on the second video because word came back to us that some of the practices they implemented from the Go Down Swinging Nathan Espinoza event are being credited with saving the lives of the firefighters that were involved in the Toy District. We have shifted to some of our virtual, or some of our in-person training has become virtual. Those are available through our Everyone Goes Home program. Our lead advocate, Rick Best, can help you get those classes arranged for you. And we're looking forward to getting back into the field and doing in-person deliveries. The second side of fire programs deals with the tragic event that occurs. We have our local assistance state team under the direction of Ian Bennett, recently retired from Harrisonburg, Virginia. The last team will show up at a fire department and let them know that we're there to help. And that there to help ranges everything from providing direct assistance to the fire department with staffing, preparing for the funeral, to supporting the family in filling out their PSO benefits sheets. So looking forward to 2021. We're looking forward to getting back to visiting people in person. I mentioned the Toy District video, and we're also going to continue with the virtual webinars in addition to our podcast program, which looks at historic firefighter line of duty deaths. So that's a brief overview of the Fire Service Programs event. Would certainly be remiss if we didn't extend a sincere thanks to Billy for all the support of fire programs and everything he does for the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. And with that, I'm going to turn it right back to Bill.
Hey, thanks a lot. So next I want to talk about my friend Ron Sarnicki. Ron served in the Prince George's County, Maryland Fire Department for more than 20 years before retiring as chief of department. And he was retired for about 5 minutes, and then he was recruited to become the executive director of the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. Ron also serves as president of the United Communities Fire Department on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. So let's go to Ron now and find out how the events of this year have affected the work of the foundation. Chief?
So Billy, thank you. And I appreciate you being here with us today, as John had said. And I have to thank John and Bev for being here to talk about their programs. We love to talk about what we do, and that's what this town hall meeting is all about. And I also want to thank everybody that's listening in. You've taken some time out because you have an interest in the foundation. And you're right, Billy, there's a lot of events that have been affected this year. And I must say, first and foremost, though, the work of the foundation has continued. Our staff has found a way to continue to answer the emails, provide assistance, take care of the phone calls, reach out to the departments, and even when needed, some personal face-to-face, understanding safety precautions relative to the COVID when there's a line of duty death. Our last teams are out there doing everything they can to help and assist in those matters. But it's a new world. And I think everybody acknowledges that we have been impacted this year relative to the COVID-19 pandemic. And I have to say that every organization is trying to figure out what that new normal is going to be, when that new normal will get here. You know, I'm in my mid 60s, and Billy, you were talking about age earlier, and I'm like, every day we are excited to have another day, to get up and be blessed with another day. And you don't want time to go by quickly, but I'll be very honest, I cannot wait for 2020 to come to an end and move on to a new chapter for all of us, because this year has had a lot of challenges related to this pandemic. And I think most people feel the same way. We want to get it behind us and we want to move forward. And so we've been working on a variety of virtual programming. Unfortunately, all of the in-person activities for the foundation have been canceled. You had mentioned the Memorial Weekend. Normally it's held in October. This year we would have honored 103 fallen heroes, firefighters who died from the traditional criteria, trauma, vehicle accidents, cardiac, but also that includes those that have World Trade Center disease, cancers, and other occupational illnesses that have led to their demise. And we couldn't do that, but we did find a way to do a special tribute. It was called America's Tribute to Fallen Heroes. And it was a 1-hour television quality video production that had each of the fallen fire heroes recognized, some very poignant comments from some individuals such as the fire administrator and the foundation's board chairman, Troy Markle. But also our crew went around the country and just interviewed the average American population or citizens and asked them to talk about the importance of what firefighters do and how tragic it is to lose one. And we heard from many of our families that it was a very poignant event for them, even though they couldn't be in Emmitsburg in person. Most of all, it was a way for us to carry out our mission, which is to honor every firefighter in America who dies in the line of duty, to help the families of those fallen firefighters rebuild their lives, and then also to work with the fire service community to reduce firefighter deaths and injuries. And I had mentioned that criteria that was used to determine those 103 fallen heroes. Well, this year we're going to have an additional criteria added. Unfortunately, as of today, 104 fire and EMS personnel have died due to complications of COVID-19 virus. Just the Thanksgiving day, we were at 100. And in the last couple of days over the weekend, we jumped another 4 names. And it continues to rise. And our teams are out there providing support and assistance when needed, where needed. But unfortunately, I don't think we've seen the end of that rising number. And so as we begin to make plans for the 2021 memorial service, which will be held October 2nd and 3rd, as you had mentioned. And it'll be our 40th Memorial Weekend, believe it or not. Unbelievable that we've done so much in those number of years. We'll be honoring all the firefighters from 2019 and 2020, which will include the COVID deaths as well. Unfortunately, we're anticipating that to be around 250 fire heroes that'll have to be honored that weekend. We will be back in Emmitsburg, and we will be doing everything we can to make every family know that there is a grateful nation for the sacrifice their firefighter has made. And Billy had mentioned that special announcement. Well, one of the things that we're looking at doing for 2022, which is the following year, is moving the memorial service to the springtime. We've been in October and fall since the memorial was created, but we run into a variety of issues, whether it is a government shutdown relating to our availability to be on campus. 2 years now, we have been locked out of the facility. Hate to say that, but it's our government, and I'm not even going to get into that discussion. We could have a whole town hall meeting on politics, but I'm not going there. But also the weather has been challenging with the tornado season, a hurricane season that comes through. I've been in Emmitsburg where it's been 95 degrees that weekend and where we've had steady snowfall. And so, yes, we could have some crazy weather in the spring, but we think that there's a better chance of making it a more memorable experience for our fire hero families and our fire service coworkers by doing something in May. And for those reasons, we plan to move it to the spring in 2022. Hopefully, we won't be doing 3 years of names if the 2021 memorial doesn't go, but all the indications are that hopefully with the vaccine and some of those other elements, we will be close to getting some normalcy by late summer is what we hope. So one of the pieces that people always ask me is, how can they get involved with the foundation? Well, first of all, you got to be an informed consumer. So sign up for our newsletter. Go to firehero.org, that's our website, and sign up for the posts, our quarterly newsletter that has a lot of facts about events and activities. Absolutely follow us on social media. We have a great team that does that, and it really provides an opportunity to know exactly what we're doing and where we're going. And as Billy said, this is Giving Tuesday, and foundation has to have donations in order to make things happen. Because when Congress created us in 1992, they said that we would do all these functionality that I mentioned earlier, but they're not going to give us any direct support to do that. So we have to raise all the money in order to make our programs happen. We work on grants, we work on donations, we work on sponsorships, but individuals help make the difference. Every single contribution helps us. So if you can, shop our Fire Hero store for the holidays. There's some great things on there, ornaments and challenge coins and other activities, or other items, I should say. And yes, we even have a COVID face mask with the foundation logo and the American flag with the red stripe, if that is so you're choosing. But go to the store, go to the website, make a donation of any amount. You can make a direct donation on our Facebook or our website. And I gotta say, as Billy mentioned at the beginning of the town hall meeting, Presto Foundation, and when they first reached out to me, I had to think about that. My mom had a Presto pressure cooker back in the days of growing up as a young child, but they make a bunch of other home appliance products. But Presto is making a corporate match of up to $35,000 for everything that's raised in our Giving Tuesday campaign. So you could do that online. You can mail us a check. You could make a pledge via the website or the Facebook page. But it really is a way for you to give back and to get involved. So I have to say that I want to wish everyone a safe and healthy holiday season. I end every one of my emails with "be safe and stay healthy." That is, I think, everyone's mantra these days. It's critical that we take every step possible to ensure that we are safe in our environment, safe in our community, safe in our homes, and that we take all the issues that are surrounding the health components that seem to be overrunning us every day very seriously, and do everything we can to make sure that everyone goes home at the end of the shift, at the end of the visit to the fire station, at the end of the emergency call, and ensuring our safety, survivability, because that's really what the foundation is about. Helping the families, remembering the fallen, and ensuring that our fire service membership have a survivability relative to the dangers and the very intense environments that we're exposed to. So Billy, I want to echo again what John had said, and thank you for your involvement with the foundation, for your friendship. You and I have been friends for a long time. There's a family relationship with your son working in Prince George's, and me having been there. Prince George's Fire and EMS department is a great place. There's a lot of great departments around here. I'm a little biased, of course, but that's where I kind of spent most of my career. But started as a volunteer in Western PA, did my part in Prince George's, and now the Eastern Shore of Maryland, because we're all committed to making our community safe. And that's what this is about. And that's what this discussion today is all about. So I want to wish everybody a happy holiday. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and be safe out there.
Hey, Ron, I've got a quick question. You said there are 104. Is that fire and EMS line of duty related to COVID at this point?
That is correct. It's 104 and it's 57. I got to do my math, and 47. Does that sound about right? 57 fire, 47 EMS. And those are members of agencies that have contracted COVID and unfortunately passed.
Okay.
There'll be a whole process to review, the parameters. There is federal legislation to cover those individuals if they meet that criteria, which we could spend hours talking about the criteria. Billy, you and I have discussed that at great length before. But right now, that is the number, and we are working through support and assistance for all of them.
All right, thanks, Chief, for that update. And that's really a sobering number, and it's important that we keep them in mind as well, what their families are going through. It's a nationwide problem, obviously.
Billy, if you think about that, it's more, and we're only in the beginning of December, but it's more than the total number of line of duty deaths in 2019, because we were on 103.
Yeah, no doubt. And sadly, as we see the nation's numbers go up, our personnel numbers will go up even more based upon the risks that they're put in. So remember, everybody, as we wrap this up, thank you for watching. But remember, Presto is going to match your donation today. So please just send a couple bucks in, whatever you can afford. And if you can afford more than a couple bucks, I promise you, your money is being well spent at the foundation. Visit our store. You're not sure what to get your spouse or your partner or whatever. They need a new sweatshirt, a t-shirt, a hoodie, coins, whatever. We have all kinds of good stuff in the store. So if you're looking for something for your donation, besides feeling good about it, we got stuff we can send you. Visit firehero.org for more information about the foundation. And thanks for giving us your time today. Please consider your donation and take care. Thank you.
Be safe, everybody. Thank you.